Afternoon, Ford.
Hello, can I speak to Sarah Rogers, please?
I try for you. Who's calling?
It's Aaron Lynch.
Aaron Lynch. Okay, one moment.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Mr. Lynch.
Hello.
Hi, this is Sarah Rogers.
Hello, Sarah. I'm just phoning about this letter I received from you about an injunction. I'm not too sure what an injunction means, so I just want to understand where I stood legally, and what an injunction is. Because
Okay, well, because I'm the solicitor that represents your landlord,
right.
I'm not really able to tell you about that, I'm afraid. You need to go and seek independent legal advice.
Right, okay then. Right. So, how long have you been a solicitor for Pennine?
I've been a solicitor for about 9 years.
9 years. Right, and you've just watched the videos recently, haven't you? The audio recordings.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
The recordings I've got on YouTube.
Yes.
You've just watched them recently though, after the first letter you sent me, I believe.
Yes, you've emailed them to me, and I've had a listen.
Right. Okay.
And
yep.
yeah, and my client wants you to remove them, and if you don't remove them, then I'm going to have to take legal action.
Right. So you didn't watch them prior to the first letter you sent me then? So you sent me the first letter, but you didn't obviously know the content of the recordings what were on YouTube because you watched them recently. So the first letter you sent me, you'd not even watched the audios to understand if there was any thinking that you did. So you've not watched them though. And that's
well, I didn't need to listen to them to know that the very act of doing the recordings and putting them on YouTube was a breach of your tenancy and is also a criminal offence.
And how would you know that's a criminal offence if you'd not personally heard them yourself?
Because it's not the content of them, it's the very act of doing what you did.
Yes, but how do you know the act if you've not heard the act? That's what I'm saying. And your letter says here that the video recordings do not evidence of an incorrect handling of your noise nuisance content against you, but it proves the audio recordings prove that my next door neighbour was lying and I've not broken any laws. In fact, I lived under the law and I've got evidence of that. I've got proof of that I did nothing wrong, and I will play within the times that we mutually agreed on. Now, it's not illegal to play music, is it?
Even if that was correct,
right.
That doesn't justify putting the postings on the very act of what you've done.
Right.
Is a breach of your tenancy and is against the law.
But what she did against the law because she lied.
But that's not the relevant point, is it? That's not the relevant issue. The issue is that we need you to remove the YouTube clips
Sarah,
from YouTube.
It's completely relevant if I'm getting a breach of tenancy from Pennine, an housing association, for noise nuisance. It's completely relevant to my innocence if I have evidence that proves that she is lying and Pennine have not taken my concerns and listened to the evidence. It's completely relevant if it proves my innocence. And if this was applied in a court of law and let's say an independent court of law, Sarah, a judge would admit that as evidence to prove my innocence. So where it is because
this isn't about innocence or guilt. What this is about is...
No, because, Sarah, I'm sorry to interrupt. Those videos prove that I am not in breach of anything. It proves that Joan is lying.
No, they don't.
No, but it does though, Sarah. That's where you're completely
wrong. No, it
wrong.
doesn't.
Okay, then, well, how does me proving that my next door neighbour's lying and that I played within the times that we mutually
That's not what those recordings do.
Right, okay, well what do the recordings do then?
I don't know what the recordings do, but they were recorded without the people who were involved permission,
Right.
and by putting them on YouTube, you've breached your tenancy and you've broken the law.
But
and you need to remove them, because otherwise I'm going to need to take further legal action. That is a completely separate situation to the noise nuisance.
I want it separate. If I'm getting...
it's separate.
Right.
It's separate because the act of somebody complaining about you for noise nuisance is one thing, and it's over there, and yes, that needs to be investigated, and I appreciate that you're not happy with the outcome.
No.
It is completely separate from taking recordings without somebody's permission and putting them on the internet without their permission.
Sarah.
It is harassment and stalking, and those things are criminal offences for which you could go to prison for.
Sarah, talk to me like I'm not daft, right? Because I know you're not daft as well. I know this is not you being daft. I don't believe for 1 second this is a kind of a thought that you the recordings prove that my next door neighbour was lying and I'm in breach of nothing. So please tell me.
Even if that is the case, Mr. Lynch, what is the purpose of posting them onto the internet?
Because it proves my innocence for a breach of tenancy when they...
Against who? What? Who's taking you to court? Why do you need to prove your innocence in relation to the noise nuisance incidents? Nobody is taking any action in relation to the noise nuisance incidents. Those have been drawn, a line has been drawn under them. The neighbour has no longer resides there. There is nobody taking any action against you in relation to noise nuisance presently. So you don't need to profess your innocence, and posting them on YouTube doesn't help you with your innocence. Perhaps giving them to a judge might, if somebody was taking you to court in relation to noise nuisance, but nobody's taking you to court in relation to noise nuisance. I'm only indicating to you that I'm going to have to take you to court if you don't take them down. That's all I'm asking you to do. Taking them down does not mean that you're saying, I agree, I'm guilty. Taking them down doesn't do anything. You've still got them. You can still keep them. And if noise nuisance gets raised again against you, then you can bring them up at that time. There's no correlation between the two things. And there's no need for you to post them on YouTube in order to prove your innocence.
I got a breach of tenancy from Pennine.
You got a warning.
Right, and a warning that I completely proved that I had done nothing wrong. So why am I getting a warning when I can prove that my next door neighbour was lying?
Well, all you can do in relation to that, Mr. Lynch, is send your evidence to your landlord for them to review it and reach a decision. If you're still not happy with that decision, then you can take it through their complaints procedure, or you can go even further than that if you want to. Putting it on YouTube does not assist your case.
I did that 3 months ago and I've not heard a thing. I just heard more.
But the answer is going to remain the same. So if you're still not happy, you're going to have to find another way to take them to task over it. Putting the clips on YouTube, Sarah, do not do that.
Sarah, you representing Pennine, right? 9 years representing Pennine. Do you know what that's like?
I haven't been representing Pennine for 9 years. I've been a solicitor for 9 years. That's what you asked me earlier.
Well, no. I asked you how long have you been representing Pennine for?
No, you didn't. You asked me how long I've been a solicitor for, and I confirmed that I've been a solicitor for 9 years.
All right. Well, how long have you been representing Pennine for then, Sarah? If you don't mind me asking, or can you not answer that?
I've worked at Forbes Solicitors for 2 years. So for 2 years.
Right. Okay then. But you representing Pennine is this? It's like two bank robbers robbing a bank, and then the other one. For instance, the police catching him, and one of the bank robbers saying to the other one, I was with you, wasn't I? And the other one saying, yeah, he was, officer, I swear down to you. That's what it's like, so anyway, I won't keep much of your time, but I will say this. Those recordings prove primarily, don't ask yourself how it ends, Sarah, ask yourself how it starts. Those videos are primarily prove that I'd done nothing wrong in the first place. It proved I was in no breach, and I'd got a breach of tenancy. Once I complained to Pennine and made them aware, And if you actually listen to the recordings in depth, I didn't actually record the first conversation with Joan or Elliot or Christine Savage McMahon. I recorded them when I was in a position of concern. And it's not illegal to take recordings if you feel there is something criminal going on. And in an independent court of law, those recordings would be admitted to prove my innocence. And it's as simple as that. I proved my innocence. I got the breach of tenancy when I've done nothing wrong. I notified Pennine. They said they have no reason to believe Joan Nolan was lying when I had evidence of she was lying. So you will have to proceed, with whatever action you want to take, and that is your choice, and that is your right. And you, as a solicitor, I'm sure you'll understand the law better than I do. But I understand the law of life as well, Sarah. So whatever you proceed with is illegal as well. Let me make that clear as well, Sarah. Whatever you proceed with now, no matter of the surrounding factors, no matter of the county court, no matter whatever the surrounding factors are, what you proceed with, Sarah, is illegal, and that's fact. And I can't make it any more clear than that. I can't make it any more. But what I don't understand as well, why can't you approach YouTube or Facebook and do something legally on that side? Why is it breach of tenancy when my concerns about the first breach, I've not been investigated, and that was illegal.
Mr. Lynch, you are responsible for putting those clips on YouTube. The very act of doing it is what's causing the problem. It's not actually the fact that you recorded it, it's the fact that you put it on YouTube without their permission. I mean, there are issues with the fact that you didn't ask their permission before you recorded them.
Well, I don't think they...
All I need to know is whether you're willing to remove them or will remove them by the deadline that I set, which I think is tomorrow.
Yeah, well, I would like to know how this is a breach of tenancy. Yeah, I was innocent of the first breach of tenancy that I got from Pennine. So how is this a breach of tenancy? The recording.
This is a breach of tenancy because your tenancy indicates that you must not cause antisocial behaviour. One type of antisocial behaviour is harassment. Harassment includes doing what you did, which was making recordings without their permission and posting them on the internet. Also without their permission.
Sarah, I got the breach of tenancy harassment in the first place.
No, you didn't. You got a letter, a letter about the fact that there had been a complaint of noise nuisance. That's different. That's a different breach of tenancy, which my client is not taking any further. A line has been drawn under it. You can draw a line under that too. All you need to do is remove those recordings, and no further legal action will be taken against you unless we receive further complaints will be investigated in the exact same way. And from what I've heard on those recordings, you appear to be of the view that you can play your music loudly as long as it's within certain times. That is not correct. You can't play your music beyond a certain level, regardless of the time. But that is not what I have been instructed in relation to. I have only been instructed in relation to getting you to remove those videos from the internet. And that is what I've been instructed to pursue and will pursue if you don't remove them.
Under what legal right, though, if the first breach of tenancy was illegal and I've done nothing wrong?
You have done something wrong. You've taken recordings without people's permission and you've put them on the internet without their permission.
Yes, and the first breach...
That is harassment and stalking. It is illegal. And it is irrelevant whether you feel that because those recordings profess your innocence, that you were allowed to put them up because of that. You were never allowed to put them up, regardless of what you feel those recordings do.
Sarah, it's not about what I feel. It's not about what I feel. It's got nothing to do with what I feel. It's called logic. It's called pure logic, right? How is this legal? Yet the first part...
With the greatest respect, Mr. Lynch, you're not making any logical sense to me.
I don't think you are either, Sarah. And I don't
well, I appreciate that you feel that way.
And Sarah, I don't think people...
Mr. Lynch, I don't think we're getting anywhere. I think you've made it quite clear that you're not going to remove the recordings. I really encourage you to go and get some independent legal advice about your position, and I will confirm to my client that we've had this conversation, that you're unlikely to remove the recordings, and we'll proceed to make the application to court.
Sarah.
Okay.
Right, listen.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Lynch.
Yes, and listen.
I'm going to hang up now.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh,
Bye-bye.
yeah, bye.